Hey guys, welcome. So glad you could join. Today's practice is going to give us a little time to focus on some out with the old, in with the new. So I think, especially as yogis, we set intentions on a pretty regular basis. We do it often for every practice, maybe for your day when there's big events coming up. And then really often on the yearly cycle, right at that end of the old year, beginning of the new year. And I was starting to think of intentions, all of this, all of these intentions that we set like this house of cards, and that we just keep kind of stacking on top all of these new intentions, right? Each year, each day, each practice, there's something maybe new and different. And when we get to a certain point, it feels like maybe that stack of cards, that house of cards, can get a little bit wobbly. Like instead of ever taking anything away, we just keep piling on more. And life feels like this a little bit sometimes, right? It's like, what else am I supposed to be doing, learning, accomplishing, right? Going forward into without ever taking the time to first just pause and look at maybe first, what am I done with? What can I let go, get rid of, so that there's actually some room for something new to come in? So today's practice will focus on that first, on wringing out the old before we make some space to open up to what's new. So if you have a blanket, a couple blocks, great to have handy. We're going to start seated, so whatever feels like a comfortable seat for you. And then just close your eyes, bring your hands down to your thighs, and just take a couple breaths, settle in, ground through your seat, sit tall. And just start to let that attention to your breath get you to tune inside. And as you start to tune in, just become a little bit more aware of inner body, breath. I invite you to think about what are three, about three things, and keep it really simple, like one word or a phrase. Things that you are wanting, ready, willing to be done with, to let go, to clean those things out. And maybe you don't even have to overthink it. Sometimes just when we pose the question to ourselves, our our body, our mind knows the answer. It might be two things, it might be four things. Come up with a couple few. And then during this first part of practice, we're going to focus on that. So I invite you to keep those intentions of release at the forefront. Let that be the anchor in your mind for the first part of practice. So that what we accomplish first is creating the space, is releasing some of the old. And so give yourself just a couple more breaths there. Simple, concise thoughts. And then just go ahead, take a full breath in through your nose. Big breath out through your mouth. Let it go. Let's do one more like that. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Let it go. And with your next inhale, reach both arms up overhead. And exhale, twist to your right. Right hand behind you, left hand across to your leg. Anchor your seat. Lengthen your spine. And then rotate ribs back, shoulder back. And when you hit that initial stopping point, don't push it. Right? Honor where that is. But let yourself just find that room with your breath. So it feels like you're coming right from the inner body more so than the outer body. Long. And then let it settle into the twist. With your next inhale, come back to center, reach both arms up. And exhale, twist to your left. Left hand behind, right hand, same thing. Long spine, but rooted seat. And just start to move in. When you find that resistance, pause. Notice where it is. And then just move with your breath. And so it feels like this. You start to create like a gentle ringing through the midsection. Come back to center, reach both arms up, inhale. And then bring your hands down to your thighs again. Take your hands to your knees. Let's do this. Switch the leg that's in front just for balance. Find your seat again. And then with your hands to your knees, couple seated rounds of seated cat cow. So inhale, arch your back, lift your chest, tilt your chin up just slightly, not throwing the head back, just a tilt. And then exhale, press your hands down and forward, round through your back, draw your chin towards your chest. Start to coordinate with your breath. Inhale, arch your back, chest forward. As you bring your chest forward, draw shoulders back. And then exhale, round. And find your breath, your movement. Right, so that rhythm for you. Inhale. And then exhale. Yeah, so we'll work through some twists at the beginning of practice. Sometimes it feels like a little cliche in yoga when we work through twists and talk about this release and letting go. But I think because it's true, right? We use it because it helps. We know that mental, emotional, mind and body connection really is also, we store those things. So as we work to really wring it out, twist it out, there is a physical release in the body of intention, of thoughts, of experience. And so as you keep those few things at the forefront of your mind, like those things that you're ready to wring out, and just let that start to settle into the physical body as well. And just take one more round here, wherever you're at, no hurry. And come back to center, sit tall. And just feel that space start to settle in. And then just cross your ankles. We're going to roll forward to standing forward fold, Uttanasana, up at the front of your mat. If you're using some props, just set it off to the side. Take your feet about hip width apart to start with, so it gives you a little bit more space. You may want to bend elbows here at the beginning of your practice, or bend knees and grab a hold of opposite elbows for ragdoll. Just let your head get heavy. And then take a moment, anchor down through your feet, so feel that firm connection. A little squeeze of your inner legs towards center. So we'll do this a bunch today to really establish the midline and be able to move from there. I think we mostly do this in practice. And then roll your inner thighs back and wide, a little bit more space between your sitting bones. And feel like you're really actively pressing down into your feet to firm up through your legs. And from that steady connection, just let yourself start to sway a little bit side to side. So your torso gets heavy, and you use that to create traction. You can get a little bit more length in the spine. That length in the spine can be a really nice tool then for just working into the twist instead of feeling like we're coming at that from a compressed space. Might even shake your head a little bit, yes and no. Right, yes to what you want, no to what you don't. And then go ahead, slowly come back to center. Release your elbows, bring your hands to your hips, and then root through your feet with a strong spine. Come all the way up to standing. Bring your hands together at your heart. Root through your feet, lift your heart up, open your chest, stand tall. Right, we know the power of our intention can be really meaningful when we're clear. And when we let that intention start to move, not just as a thought in our head, but really down into the physical body. And that's what we can really do within the practice. Next, inhale, reach both arms up. And as you exhale, take a hold of opposite arms up overhead. So that might be opposite forearms, that might be elbows, wherever your shoulders can reach to. Stay strong through your legs, and as you inhale, lengthen up through your side bodies. Exhale, side bend to your right. And then root especially down through your left foot. Let your left hip sway way out to the side, so we're getting space in the side bodies. And then you can bring your upper arms back a little bit. Lift your chest up. So it doesn't feel like you're falling in, right? Chin towards chest. A couple full breaths into the ribs. Nice long space along that lateral side of the body. Back up to center, take a breath in. And then exhale, side bend to your left. And so this time really press down through your right foot and just let the right hip travel out to the side. So as you do that, it's going to open up more space. And if it feels like the left shoulder is wanting to dip back, just see if you can bring shoulders square. And then arms back, chest up for space there. And one more full breath out in the side body. And then inhale, come all the way back up, stretch your arms up. Exhale, hinge, fold forward. And stay strong through your legs. Press down, inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold, hands down, step your left foot back, low lunge. Just bring your hands to frame your front foot. Keep your left hand down. You can even use a block there if you want a little bit more height. Reach your right arm up, low twist. And then, like we've been doing, settle the foundation in first, so squeeze your legs in. Press into the ball of your back foot. And then from that, strengthen the legs, press down, open wide through your chest, and hug your right shoulder blade onto your back. And just start to notice in the twist where there's some compression, where it feels like you're really getting that ringing action through your torso. And as we do that, what are we starting to squeeze out? Okay, next inhale, right hand down. Exhale, step back, high plank. Take a couple breaths in this first plank. Really settle the strength of your hands. Right, so spread wide through fingers, press down through fingertips, and then find the lift and support through your lower belly. Take one more breath in there. And then with your exhale, either with bent knees or straight legs, come all the way down. Tops of your feet down. Inhale, lift up, head, chest, shoulders, cobra pose. Exhale, lower down. Stretch back, down dog. And give yourself a few breaths in this first down dog. You may want to pedal out through legs. Move your ankles and heels side to side. Or it might feel good just to root into the stillness. And then as you come back to center, inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step all the way through. And then this time, keep right hand down. Inhale, sweep left arm up. Same thing, you could have a block underneath your right hand. Sometimes that little bit of height actually gives you more space. Squeeze your front heel towards your back toes. And then just get strong through the outer left hip so it's not winging out to the side. Feel like you're curling your sitting bone in. And then as you press down into your feet, let that open up a little bit more through your chest, through that wingspan. And hug your left shoulder blade onto the back body. Where is the compression? It's the ringing action of the twist. Might get them into all different little nooks and crannies as we work through this first part of practice. Next, inhale, unwind. Exhale, take a big step forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Hands to mat or shins or blocks. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands together at your heart. Strong legs, reach up, inhale. And then again, take a hold of opposite arms up overhead. You can do the other arm in front. It's probably just whatever one you have to think about. And as you root down, lengthen your side bodies, inhale. Side bend to your left, exhale. Root through your left foot, left hip out to the side. Lift your chest up. Imagine you could take your arms back a little bit. They might not even move, but see if it gives you more space. Back to center, inhale. And then side bend to your right, exhale. Root down through left foot. Let left hip come out to the side. And you can even give your elbows a little traction away from one another. And sometimes that gives you the space in your chest and shoulders. Come back up to center. Inhale, reach both arms up. And then exhale, bend your knee, sit back, chair. And you might stay feet hip width apart. You might like big toes together, whatever works better here. But really settle down low into the bend of your knees and let the weight come back into your heels. From here, take a full breath in. And then as you exhale, sweep your right arm back, left arm forward, vertical twist. And so turn your thumbs up towards the ceiling. And then just notice what your hips do here, right? The left hip's probably gonna wanna come forward a little bit. See if you can encourage it back without compressing the low back. But so that as you stabilize the pelvis a little bit more, you can reach out through your right arm and bring more twist through that mid and upper part of the back. Okay, come back to center, stay low in your chair, reach arms up. And then left arm back, right arm forward, twist. Thumbs up, hips low. So see what the right hip's doing on this side. You need to draw it back a little bit and play. Everyone's going to be a little different with where it is in your back. Then from there, you can reach out through your left arm. Good. Inhale, stand all the way up, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Root your feet. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Step your right foot back to lunge. Okay, and then as you root through your feet, inhale, come all the way up. With your exhale, take your left arm, reach back around to the back of your right thigh. Right, so your torso then is going to rotate a little bit naturally to your left. Set a strong foundation as you hug your legs in. And press the back of your right thigh into your hand. Feel that root to rise, come up. And then reach your right arm up, but then plug the shoulder blade back so it feels really connected. Maybe start to look up, lean back, find a little space. Couple full, steady breaths. And each twist is going to get into a little bit different place, so just feel, notice. Inhale, come back to center, reach both arms up. Exhale, hands down to your mat, step back plank. Take a full breath in. And then with your exhale, lower all the way down. And cobra pose, inhale, root the tops of your feet. Exhale, lower down, stretch back, down dog. And just take 2 full breaths here. Stay strong through your hands. Settle your chest back towards your thighs. Right leg up, inhale. Step all the way through, exhale. Right, anchor through your feet so you feel steady. Inhale, come all the way up, lunge. And then with your exhale, this time, right hand to the back of your left thigh. Right, so you get this twisting towards your right. Hug your legs in. Press your left thigh into your right hand. And then reach your left arm up. But can you also draw the shoulder blade? Feel like you're plugging the shoulder in a little bit more. So it feels connected and really integrated. And then lift, breathe. And see if you can bring that intention of what's the release back to the forefront if that slipped away. And we start to ring out through the body. Right? We're bringing that from just thought right, really down into what we're trying to let go. But inhale, bring both arms back to center. Exhale, hands down to your mat, step back, plank. Take a breath in. Right, and this time you can either come all the way down or do chaturanga. Find your back bend if that's cobra or upward facing dog. And then back down dog. Again, just take a couple full breaths. Feel hands and feet. And so we get the root and that firm foundation of the body in between. Next, inhale, lift to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Walk, step, or hop front of your mat. Halfway lift, take a breath in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands together at your heart. Stand tall, open chest, steady breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Halfway lift, take a breath in. And exhale, fold, step your left foot back, left knee down to your mat. And then take your right foot out just a little bit wider, just a couple of inches towards the right. Keep your left hand down. Just bring your right hand to your right knee or right thigh, wherever that's comfortable. And then squeeze in, front ankle towards back knee. And start to roll your chest open towards the right. Keep a little support here through the low belly, right? So you don't want to be gripping so that there's movement for the twist. And yet also where it feels like the pelvis is a little bit supported so that the hips can settle forward without feeling like they're collapsing. Sometimes if we don't give it that support, then the muscles want to contract because they're not sure what's going to happen. So just even that little intention of engagement can help you find that support there for the hips. Okay, and then you can stay right here. This might feel like plenty for twist and for hip opening. Or bend the back leg, take a big circle around with your top arm, reach back. Right, foot, ankle, wherever it goes. And then draw your heel in towards your glutes, but at the same time resist that press back. And that little pressing back might even give you a hair more rotation through your torso. Right, where does it feel like the twist lands there? We know we hold on to different emotions, different experiences, different intentions in different places in the body. So we kind of try and work into all these different places. We hope to hit the spots that need to be wrung out. Okay, with control, release the back leg. Circle your right hand down, step back, down dog. And then bring your big toes together to touch. Walk your left hand a couple inches forward and towards the center of your mat. And then root down through your hand and through your fingertips. Roll until left hand outer edge of left foot, Vashisthasana. So you can do legs stacked, you can do top leg in front, whatever feels like a better place for support. And root down, lift your hips, steady your breath. Feel the strength of your body, which I think so often helps us to translate to that strength of our conviction. Right? When we know we have that inner strength. Full breath in. And then exhale, right hand down, lift hips, down dog. Take a breath. With your inhale, reach your left leg up. Exhale, step through. And then right knee down. So same thing, you take left foot just a little bit wider. Bring your left hand to your knee, your thigh, leave your right hand down. Hug your legs in. Find that little bit of support through your belly without feeling like you're gripping. What feels like enough, but not too much. And then start to rotate from the inner body into that twist. Right? Long spine. And then twist in. And just like the other side, you can stay here or bend the back knee, reach back. Right? For some of us, that leg down is plenty. And then some days it's different side to side. So as you draw your heel in, resist that press back. And you can let that start to roll your left shoulder, left ribs back. And then just take a couple of breaths there. Notice where you feel it this side. What are your clear intentions to let go first? So you don't keep just continuing to pile on more, because we're often really good at doing this. Good. Release. Hands down. Step back, down dog. And then again, big toes together to touch. And so you want to take your left hand forward a couple inches, open up space in the wrist, but then a couple of inches also towards center. Root through your hand, roll onto right hand, outer edge of right foot. Okay, reach your top arm up, legs stacked or top foot in front. And then whatever's touching, press down to lift the hips. Start to create that arc in the lower side body. And feel into your strength and your support. Big breath in. And with your exhale, hands down, step back, down dog. Take a couple breaths. And with your next inhale, lift to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, walk, step, or hop front of your mat. Right, so we're going to work into a tight, deep squat here. If that doesn't work for your knees, couple options. One, a blanket behind your knees can be really nice for a little extra support. I'm going to do that today. Or you can do all of this in chair pose if that deeper squat doesn't work for ankles or knees. Right, so with feet together, go ahead, squat down. Right, so I'm up on the balls of my feet. But then go ahead, let your heels start to drop down to whatever place works for the back of the calves and the Achilles. Give a little squeeze of your legs so you start to create that, again, into center, that sense of midline for support. Okay, we're going to work a little more balance from here. So bring your hands to your thighs or your knees. Hug in, breathe, and then hands together at your heart. Right, so again, you can do all this just like we would do a chair pose twist if this squat isn't working. Take a breath in. And then exhale, come across slowly, left elbow to right knee. Right, so we're in this pretty tight compressed place, really trying to squeeze things out. So see if you can get some length through your spine, crown of the head forward and up. And then as you exhale, move your sternum, the center of your chest, towards your thumbs. Right, feet are probably working really hard to maintain balance. With your inhale, come back through center. Exhale to your left. Go slowly. If you fall out and wobble around, come back. Hug in. Lengthen your spine. And then roll the center of your chest towards your thumbs. Right. Each breath gets longer in spine. And then let yourself settle in, just like we did at the beginning with the twist. Back to center, inhale. Hands to your mat, exhale. And then if you have some support, set that off to the side. Come to a standing forward fold. You can bend knees here. And as a matter of fact, go ahead, bend knees until it feels like your belly comes to your thighs. So for some of us, that might be really deep, so not as much. And then take your hands to the backs of your calves. Let the crown of your head soften towards the ground. Root your feet. Squeeze your legs in. And then just feel that sensation of the belly and the thighs pressing together. Like we're taking all of that wringing and compression that we did and now giving it a good squeeze out. Couple breaths. And then release your hands. Step back, high plank. You can come through the vinyasa here. It feels good. Lower, find your back bend, come straight back to down dog, or skip it. Come straight back to down dog. And sometimes what we're trying to release is having to do all of it. Once you get to down dog, take a full breath in. And then exhale, child's pose. Big toes together, knees wide. Settle hips back to heels. Let your forehead rest down to your mat, or if you want a little support under that, please do. And go ahead and bring your attention back to breath. Feel now where it might be a little bit more spacious, like where it feels like the breath has a lot of room to go. Sometimes we don't even know what we're clearing at as we make space in there. But I do believe when we get really clear with our intention, that our body knows better what to do. And then I'm going to ask you to shift gears a little bit. Right now that we've cleared some out of the old, taking some of that, some of the cards off the big house, a little bit more steady foundation. What is one thing, one intention that you'd like to set or bring in? Right. Notice that we're not going to do 2 or 3 or 4, but just one. And we don't have to automatically fill all that space back up. And leave a little room for the magic. But we just set one. And then as you feel ready, again, try not to overthink it. What comes to mind as you ask? Let's come down dog again. From down dog, inhale, reach your left leg up and back. Exhale, step through. And set your feet up for lunge. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Okay, steady foundation, just like we've been doing, hug in. Draw your outer left hip back. And then as you press down into your feet, lift your chest. Okay, with bent elbows, bring your palms towards one another. And then you can start to traction your elbows apart from one another. That's where it always gives good space in the collarbones. And then reach your knuckles back. Right, play with the amount of back bend here, whether you stay fairly upright and just broaden the chest, not just, that's good work, or you start to lean back a little bit, look up. If you do that, feel like you're really drawing all the way up from the low belly, up that front line of your body, so that it's supported as you open. Right, just like twists that clear the space, back bends by nature, as we open up, we start to invite in the new. Yes, it's what we talk about in yoga, and that is because I believe it works. Okay, both arms up, inhale. Hands to your mat, exhale. We'll set up for standing splits as a transition, so if you like your blocks up at the front of the mat, do that. Walk your hands forward until they're underneath your shoulders. Lift your right leg up. Root down through your left foot. Flex your right foot. Roll your inner right thigh up. So you feel the pelvis really level first. And then squeeze your outer hips into center. Get stable. Okay, leave your left hand down, bring right hand to your hip. And as you press down into your left foot, roll your right hip open. Half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. And they'll have a few options for here, so listen to your body. Right, you can keep hand to hip. And you can reach the top arm up. Wherever you're at, bring a little bit more root down into your left foot and see if you can expand through your right arm, right leg. So you feel open. And then you might stay there or bend the top leg, reach back, take a hold of your foot, Ardha Chandra Chapasana. If you do that, press hand and foot into one another, lean back a little bit, open up. And focus on breath and your one thing. What's your one intention? If you have the foot with your next inhale, slowly release. Exhale, bend your front knee. Step all the way back, warrior two. Root your feet. Inhale, open up through your chest, spread wide through your arms. And then exhale, circle your hands down to your mat. Step back, down dog. Take a breath in between sides. And then inhale, reach your right leg up and back. Exhale, step your foot through. And then lunge, come all the way up, reach your arms up. And then exhale, interlace your hands behind you. Take that opposite clasp when you have to think about. Bend your elbows a little bit so you can work your palms together. And strong foundation, squeeze in. Draw your right hip back a little bit. right? And then feel that pressing down actively into your feet. And from your low belly, start to lift, broaden, open, right? Traction your elbows, like pulling them away from one another. Keep that little bend in the elbows even as you reach your knuckles down to lift your chest up, right? Where's the balance so that we're not pushing and forcing into that open space of the new intention? We're simply opening and allowing it to settle in instead of, right, really forcing things to happen. Right? Sometimes we can do that. We can just really want to rush head on into it all. Okay, inhale both arms up. Exhale, hands to your mat. And again, if you want your blocks, have them here. Walk your hands forward under your shoulders. Lift your left leg up. Flex your foot. And roll your inner left thigh up so you feel the pelvis level to start. Squeeze your outer hips in. And then keep your right hand down, left hand to your hip. Press into your right foot to roll your left hip open. So working towards, stacking left hip on top of right. And keep your floating legs strong. Hand to hip or reach your arm up. And then again, as you press down into your right foot, can you expand a little bit more, especially through left leg, left arm? And stay here or bend the top knee. Reach back for your foot. If you have that, press foot and hand, open your chest. Smooth your breath. Steady your attention on your intention. Next, inhale, release. Exhale, bend your front knee, step all the way back, warrior two. Take a full breath in, open up through your chest. And then as you exhale, circle your hands, step back, high plank. And take an inhale here in high plank. And with your exhale, lower all the way down. Stretch your arms out in front. So I was thinking about this like Superman arms and legs. Take a breath, let your body settle. Root down through the tops of your feet and lengthen your tailbone back towards your heels. Keep that, bend your right leg. Take a big circle around. So we're taking the shape in a few different variations. Give a little squeeze of your inner legs. And then options again, you can stay right here. For some of us, this is plenty of back bend and thigh stretch. Or press right foot and right hand, lift your thigh, and lift your upper body up off the mat. Right, so we're in half bow pose, Ardha Dhanurasana. And then you either stay there or float left arm, left leg. And feel the breath move to your belly. Lift if you are lifted, and expand. And lower down, release your foot. Switch sides. So keep the top of your right foot really connected. Bend your left. Big circle around, reach back. Stay lifted through your low belly. Right? And you can stay right here. Forehead or chin to your mat, hand to foot, or hand reaching towards the foot. Right? Or press hand and foot, lift thigh, lift upper body. Stay there. Or float up right arm, right leg. Right? Keep a little strength hugging into midline. And with your breath, find the lift, the expansion. Good. Lower all the way down, release feet. Then just make a pillow with your hands, let your hips move a little side to side. Take a breath. Okay, last one here. This time, stretch your arms back by your side, bend your knees. So a couple options here too, always options, right? Wherever you're at, lengthen your tailbone back. Flex your feet, make your legs strong. right? And so you're either going to do locust variation without grabbing the feet, or grab feet or ankles, Dhanurasana bow pose. Take a breath out. Inhale, lift up through your upper body, and then maybe thighs, legs lift as well. Whether your hands are connected or not, you can work that action of feet up towards the ceiling. Good. With the inhale to lift, the exhale to stay. One more, create space, lift. And then exhale, come all the way down. Release your legs. Take a breath, let the hips wiggle a little bit side to side. And then hands by your ribs, tuck your toes. Inhale, come to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. From down dog, walk your hands back to your feet. Come to the back of your mat. And so again, just go feet hip width apart. Take that good bend in your knees. And then you can either come back to ragdoll like we were, or if it feels like the hamstrings have a little more space now, maybe you slide, palms underneath your feet, Padahastasana. Let the top of your head get heavy. But find that strength in your legs as you hug in. And then tilt your sitting bones up and back. Let the back body now start to fill with space. Right. Yes, back bends are super effective, but we're creating that space, opening it up so that we feel really receptive, both front and back sides of the body. So a nice little break in between the back bends. Release your hands, bring hands to hips, root down. Inhale, come all the way up. Okay. And then go ahead, start with feet together, hands to hips. Find a steady gaze point for your eyes. And root down into your left foot. Bend your right leg, reach back, dancer pose. So inner edge of the foot or outer, see what works for your shoulder. Bring your left hand to your hip. A little squeeze of the legs into midline. Don't have to touch. Just bring them just towards center. Lift through your belly. Right, and then just like we've been doing, you might stay right here. This already brings some back bend and some thigh lengthening space there. Or press foot and hand start to lift your thigh up. Now, start to think about the chest and the heart going up instead of just forward, right? It's going to naturally come forward a little bit as the thigh lifts. So see if you can keep the space by sternum up, heart towards hands. And stay rooted through your left foot. Keep your intention as your focus. Good. Come up, inhale, release. Hands to heart, take a breath. Switch sides and stand into your right, left leg up. Right hand to heart. Root your foot, tone your belly for support, and feel the body hugging in towards the midline. Right? And then we stay here or lift the thigh up, lift the heart up. Right? So it's not just forward, stay really lifted and open. Right? That's going to ask for a lot of support through the belly because it might even give you a little bit more back bend. Keep your gaze steady, breath steady, and your intention focused. And so we really start to move it down into that space of the body to invite it to the physical level. Good. Come up, release, hands to heart. Take a pause, just feel. Right? And we notice, what does it feel like when we start to move it from the head to the body? What's the body's reaction? Sometimes I think about we get those full body yes or full body no and really start to listen. Both arms up, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Lift halfway, take a breath in. Exhale, fold. Walk your hands forward all the way to plank pose. Right. From plank pose, inhale. And then as you exhale, forearm plank. So bring elbows where your hands were. Line your hips up with your shoulders to start with. Make your forearms parallel to one another. Okay, then lift your hips again. Start to walk your feet in dolphin pose. Right, they just might walk an inch or two. They might come in pretty far to see. Sometimes even a little bend in the knees helps. Root through your forearms. Traction your forearms forward as you send your chest back. And then see if you can really root forearms, wrists, and hands for support. Okay, stay here or right leg up. Right, think just like we were in standing splits, keep the hips level, legs strong. Send your chest back, root through your arms. Good, next exhale, right leg down. Inhale, left leg up. I love inversions for just that flipped perspective. Where sometimes when we want to make a change, a new intention, it does require a new perspective. Full breath in. And then exhale, both feet down, child's pose. Sit hips back to heels. Slow down your breath. And listen now to what's starting to fill up the space. Out with the old, in with the new. And start to walk yourself back. Come all the way up and have a seat. If you want to sit up on some support like we did at the beginning, you're welcome to grab your blanket, a pillow, whatever you've got. Okay, and then from here, soles of your feet together, knees out wide, and butterfly. And just let yourself find your seat. That means moving the flesh out a little bit, do that. Bring your hands down towards your ankles or your shins. Press your feet together, lengthen your spine. And then just depending on range of motion of hips, you might stay here, or you can start to hinge and fold forward. Go slowly, listen, and keep the length in your spine as you fold forward. So it feels like you're moving the center of your chest down towards your big toes. And close your eyes. And see here if again you can just start to slow your breath down. In the quieter spaces, when you focus on your intention, what comes up? Right, do we give ourselves enough quiet space, enough time to know what we're done with? It doesn't mean we're giving up, it just means we're ready to move through. Right? Things that we don't need to pile on top of anymore. And to know what would really help us, support us to bring in. And so often, simpler is better. Right? They don't have to be these complex intentions. Sometimes it's just a reminder of something we might already know or do. There's just a new way to set that focus. You can give yourself a few more breaths here. And walk yourself back up. Help your knees together. Come all the way down onto your back. And as you get there, I'm going to invite you to take a minute and choose what would feel good for you for one more pose to close out your practice. Right? What is your body calling for to help set that intention? Right? What physical movement of the body would support that? That's another back bend or another twist or a hip opener like happy baby. Sometimes, right, we all need something a little different. And just give yourself a few breaths here. I want to ask maybe what that is. And take a few moments to play with that in your body. No hurry. And then whenever you're ready, you'll start to move into Shavasana. If you want blankets, blocks, support, set that up. See if you can find a place where you feel really supported, but also really open. Hands by your sides or hands to your body. Soften your gaze. And just release any effort with your breath. See if you can keep that one word, that one intention. This is your focus. Right? Trust that the other things have gone away. Right? You've wrung them out. And let it go. And the focus is on bringing in the new. And rest with that. And start to take some fuller breaths again. And with your inhale, big stretch, reach up, lengthen. As you exhale, draw your knees towards your chest, roll to your side, press all the way back up to sitting. Bring your hands together at your heart. Lift heart to hands, bow in head to heart. Thank you so much for sharing the practice. Namaste.